Good morning. This is some Qigong for the 6 directions. The 6 directions are down into the earth, up to the heavens, and we call that actually the direction of earth because it's the central vertical axis. Then we have fire, which is ahead of you and to the south, so if you're facing south, that's good. Then we have to the left of you, the east, and that would be the element of wood. We have behind you, or if you're turning to face it, to the north, the element of water. And then to the west, we have the element of metal, and that would be on your right. So in practice, the 6 directions, we start just softening the body wherever you are, feeling your connection down into the earth, through the soles of your feet. And focus fully on your feet and the connection with the earth, with the planet. You could imagine that you're on damp sand and you're sinking slightly below the surface of the earth, though fully supported still. Soften the knees, let the tailbone go straight down into the earth. So the end of the spine, the lowest part of the spine, straight down into the earth. And you might find that relax the back of your waist. And then when you have done that, just by intention, letting the top of the head move towards the sky. Not so much movement, just an intention that the top of the head move towards the sky. So there we are in your vertical axis, softening to the resources coming in from the earth and from the sky or heaven, all mixing in the human being along the vertical. So we have now the element of fire in the south, ahead of you or facing you. And we do a movement called Wash Your Heart with Laughter. And I'll show you. You're best placing your hands like this, and you're heading towards the top of the pubic bone in this, in your mind, in your intention. So your fingers are kind of pointing to that area. And then the movement is like this. And this is the area that's known as Wash Your Heart with Laughter from the art of Jinshin. Here's the movement. Shift the weight onto one side, doesn't matter which one. And the foot comes up, goes forward, comes back, and then sets down on the other side. So that's the movement. Really feel the foot that's taking the weight land on the earth and the weight shift. Feel as if you're moving on one plane, so you're not bouncing up and down, you're staying close to the planet, parallel to the surface of the earth. If you're having not a good balanced day or balance is a bit compromised, you can just lift the foot up and then put it down again. And if that's really not possible for you, then just keep the toes on the ground like this. So there are many versions. So you could do this as well if it's problematic. But we're talking about the element of fire here in the south. And so we're calling in a slight trembling movement which replicates a flame, a candle flame. So it's good if there is a little bit of, you don't need to be solid in this. If you think about fire, it's receptive to the slightest breeze. And so the fire within you is also receptive. And focusing on this area here. So send your mind down into your lower belly and your breath as well. Around 6 to each side. And then we finish like this. So take the hands over your head and join the palms together. And then place one foot on top of the other like that, as if you were a flame. And again, feel that kind of flickering or slight trembling or shaking as if you were a candle flame. And so what we do here is we call in fire by replicating it. So like for like. And just feel the breath in your body. Know that this gesture is doing the work for you. And this is a coaching video, so you could stay for as long as you like in that gesture. So I'm just showing you the moves. And then you would turn to your left, which is to the east, and it's the element of wood. The element of wood is largely concerned with the sides of the body. So once again, if you are actually facing in the direction, then find your ground again, the center. And you don't have to turn. If it's inconvenient, you can stay facing south, but just be aware of the east. So we go into the element of wood, sides of the body. Soften the knees, and as if the arms were like two elephant trunks, just allow them to move the body, move the body around the vertical axis. So really keeping the sense of top of the head towards the sky, feet in the earth, and just rotating around. Now the knees and the hips stay, broadly speaking, facing forward. So you're turning around this area. And also use the eyes. So look behind you. So the eyes are also of the wood element. So looking behind you. And noting all the greenery, even if you're doing it inside, look out of the window. Find something green, even if it's a houseplant. And then we're going to use a sound. So the anger, the emotion associated with wood is anger. And anger is great, it moves us. But let's, if we store it or don't express it, then it's damaging to the system. So we're going to use the sound he, 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 he. He, and allow the arms to tap on the liver area, the sides of the body, as they swing round. He, 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 he. And once again, you can do that for as long as it feels good. Find your ground again. Then we do another one of those like for likes. This time we're going to imagine that there are roots going down through the feet, a tap root at the tailbone, big tap root going down into the earth. And we make this gesture with the hands. I'll come closer to the screen. So it's like this. So the thumbs and the little fingers are together and we make a lotus flower. And this time we're deeply planted in the earth. And you bring that gesture up firstly to the heart, then to the centre of the forehead, third eye, and finally to the sky, so that the lotus flower is going towards source, the light source. And imagine there you are planted with the top of you searching for the light source, which is directly above you. Little flower opening there. Calling in growth, plant growth, by emulating it in your stance. So nextly we turn to north, so you can either physically turn to north or stay where you are and have a sense of it behind you. The element of water. Take the weight over onto one leg. This is called pushing waves. Step forward with the other. Step forward wide and not too far so you can keep your balance. Just for a moment, make sure you're comfortable between the feet. Turn the palms up like this and you're moving diagonally and you're shifting the weight from the front to the back foot. Okay, so that's the movement. And it's called pushing waves. Now imagine that you're in a body of water, could be the sea is good, up to about chest height, and it's beautifully comfortable temperature, it's clean, clear, salty maybe, and that you're riding backwards and forwards on the tide. However, what you are actually moving backwards and forwards on is your breath. So breathing out here, and then the in-breath, following the natural rhythm of your breath. So everybody's will be different. Your in-breath, your out-breath. And then big visualization here, as if the water, the tide is coming right through you and all your cells are spinning this way. Then it breaks on the beach behind and it comes forward through you and all the cells are spinning that way. And really feel here like you're pushing something so that the power in your belly is coming up into your hands. And then it's easy to ride back with the tide and then slightly pushing here. Feeling how flowy water can be, but also the great resistance and power of water as well. You could also feel those wheels turning at your kidney area, the organ associated with water. So here we go. Kidneys turning this way, kidneys turning that way, and so on. And then a few to the other side as well. So usually 6 to each side is what's prescribed. And then standing and really imagining that the tap root is going straight down into the earth, softening around the back of the waist, the kidney areas. And imagine for a moment beautiful warm water coming up from the earth, through the legs, through the center of the legs, and then up the spine and into the brain. Yeah, and then you could feel it washing down the front. So you've got a circulation of water coming through the legs, mostly to the back of the legs, through the spine up to the brain and then down the front of you. Washing the whole nervous system, including the adrenals and kidneys. Finally, we find in the west and to the right of us the element of metal, boundaries and structures. And so we do this movement, shifting your weight over into one foot, doesn't matter which one. The other foot steps forward and the hands swing up like this. And they make this gesture, the index finger touching the thumb, opening the organs of the metal element, the lung and large intestine. This is your in-breath. When you're full of air, you step back and you let go, but you let go so that the hands swing naturally to a standstill as you're breathing out. Totally empty of air, step on the other side, take your in-breath, natural in-breath, full of air, and then let it go on the out-breath, letting go. The element of metal is around, taking in and then letting go. So here we go. And I'm going to add a sound to this. So the emotion that's associated with metal is sadness, loss and grief. And we need all those things in life. They're natural. There's nothing wrong with them. But if we have an excess and we're not expressing them, then they can be damaging to the body. And the sound is sss. The sound is sss, like a snake, like snake. So we go. And the sound is here. Sss. So it might take you a bit longer to get your out breath. Stepping forward. And to give it its complete metal quality, calling in here the colour white. So imagining white coming in on your in-breath, breathing in white, letting go with a s. And again around 6 to each side. Making that the last one. And then again one of these what we call palm stamps. And so the index finger and the thumb, again the metal element meridians, are here on the inside of the elbow, like that, on the elbow crease. And you're holding like this. If that's uncomfortable, you can drop them. But if you can, hold your arms like this. Imagine again you're rooted to the ground. The metal element about structures and boundaries. And have the image that you're on top of a mountain and you're buffeted by unpredictable weather. So maybe the wind's coming from here or behind you, but you're almost part of the top of the mountain. You're so well rooted there. And your boundaries are so strong. They're flexible, but they're strong, so nothing knocks you off the top of the mountain. And once again, you can stay here for as good as it feels. When you have finished, gently taking down the arms, standing in the center again for a moment, acknowledging the vertical axis of Earth. And then a good way to come out of this is to actually shake the hands and shake the feet, a little bit of vibration, and looking around, and if there are other people around, just making a bit of eye contact to come back into the day. Thank you.